Hello Internet, and welcome to a little preview video, I suppose this is going to be. I'm joined by a couple of my friends. I've got Nigel here. Hello Nigel.
Hello.
Hello.
And and Lajo as well. Hello Lajo.
Hello.
Okay, so Nigel, also known as Wyrms on Nugget Bridge, and Lajo, also known as Lajo. So we're going to basically look over a few names that we've got going in the European circuit here, because we're only a few days away from the German national, and we're going to try and pick who might top cut, who has a chance of winning the tournament. Really, I think it is pretty open. I think there's a chance that none of these people that we mentioned, they might not even win the tournament. So we'll just have to see. But I'm just bringing up, for YouTube benefit, I'm bringing up onto the screen the championship points in Europe. I will just also note that the championship points on here have updated after the international challenge now as well. So I think this is how the championship points for Europe are going to stand going into the nationals. So I'm clinging on to first there, tied there really with Billa. It's just this like rating thing. And, I'm dubious about this rating thing. It never seems to update when the championship points do. But yeah, we'll have a look at this, and I've got some profiles and stuff to have a look at as well. But what are we going to do then? So we're going to do this, kind of on championship order, and so this is going to be a little bit strange, me talking about myself. But to kick off with, I suppose I've had a really good season so far. I've entered... How many tournaments have I entered? I've entered 7 tournaments in total. I have won 5 of them. One of them was the regional in Arnhem. I've won 4 Premier Challenges, and that's basically put me in this nice, strong championship point position. But I'm not going to talk too much about myself. So let's just move straight on to Billa, who is in second. So Lajo, tell us about Billa.
Yeah. So Billa is tied with you currently in CP rankings and has a nice 316, I believe. And yeah, he joined a lot of tournaments actually. He
do you know how many he's been to?
I guess it's about 10 or so.
Oh,
or
wow.
maybe
You got a lot of Premier Challenges in Germany then.
well, it's because he is a tournament organizer itself. Together with Lati, and they both do some premier challenges in Carbon where he lives. So yeah, they can alternate their TO positions, so the other one can join them, and
yeah, that is pretty clever. It's nice that.
So there were quite a lot premier challenges going on there, and Billa joined.
A couple of people in the UK that wanted to try and do that as well over here, but I'm not sure if they've been... Actually, I think they have been accepted as organisers, but I don't know if anything has actually been planned yet. But I mean, Billa as well, just to point out, he went to the Arnhem and UK regionals too. He's the only person that top cut in both of those. So Billa, maybe he is a pretty strong choice for this tournament because, home ground in Germany and everything. But, maybe he has got his head around this metagame because it is quite diverse. It's done well. Top cut in 2 tournaments, 2 regionals is pretty good.
Well, it's not just only these 2 regionals. He does pretty constantly well this season. I think he's the only German player that won 4 Premier Challenges so far. And yeah, you can see it in the CP rankings that he's pretty successful this season.
Yeah, he's up there. And I think the 3 of us in first, second and third, over 300 points. I think the 300 barrier is quite important going into nationals because I mean, we don't know what the cap will be for a top 16 finish at the end of the nationals, but I'm suspecting it'll be around 650 sort of area. And to have, almost half of that already, I think is a massive boost for us. But, let's move on. Let's talk about Kelly a little bit. So, Kelster Cartier, his online name. Do you want to tell us about Kelly, Nigel?
Yep, so Kelly's basically third in the rankings with 306 CP at the moment. runner-up to Barry in Arnhem, as well as a top 16 in Southern Coalfields, both regional. So he's obviously done very consistently so far this year. And I think he's becoming a much more respected player compared to last year. I think a lot of people perceive that big top four in the UK Nationals as sort of a one-off, but I think people are now starting to see that he is actually going to be one of the top players for this season.
Yeah, potentially. I think it is quite amusing because he was the person that knocked me out of the UK National last year, and I was really annoyed about that. I wasn't really happy, so I didn't know how well he would do at Worlds. And as well, like 2014, last year's format was so much different to this year. I tend to think that 2014 is not really a good way of judging how well people are going to do this year. But obviously Kelly has, defied that myth. He's actually done really well this season so far.
Yeah, he's also got, so of the championship points that he's got, over 160 of them are earned from PC, so he's definitely showing that he's consistent, he's going to a lot of tournaments, he's basically getting out and about and generally practices what makes the difference in these sorts of situations.
Yeah, I know he's been trying various different things, so he's always sort of trying to move with the metagame, I guess.
Or the Metagross, as the case may be. He's quite fond of Metagross.
Yeah, you see a lot of teams like that, especially because it did well in a couple of United States regionals as well, didn't it? The whole substitute Metagross and Hydreigon, Terrakion, Thunderous, that whole team. I wonder, who originated, who created that, if it was an American thing or if it was a Kelly thing, or maybe it was a Japanese thing and maybe they just stole it, who knows. But
yeah, probably.
Maybe. But, okay, so next on the list, fourth on the list, is 2013 World Champion, Arash, Mean. So, you're going to tell us about Mean, Nigel?
Yep, okay, so 7th in the rankings, 243 CP. As far as I'm aware, he's the only European player so far that's actually maxed out his CP points from Premier Challenges. So,
oh, really?
As far as I'm aware, because he's definitely got the Magic 200 from the Premier Challenges. He's also top 16 in Arnhem, so he had a good result back in February in the Netherlands. I tend to think of Arash as very much, he wears his emotions on his sleeves, but he's very charismatic, very open though in what he wants to convey. I'm not sure quite how you best put that, but he's sort of, if a turn's gone well or gone badly, he sort of shows what he's thinking, basically.
I think the thing with Arash, the thing with Mean, is that he is quite good at, or very good at, reading the metagame and knowing what works. Because, how he won the 2013 World Championships was taking Pokemon that were very good against the metagame, Scarfed, Mamoswine, and, the Amoonguss and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And, that team, just for that sort of moment in time of metagame, was really good. And that's how he won that. I think that is when Arash does best, when he really puts his head to what the metagame is and how he can counter it, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Countering the metagame, if you can, is always such a good thing. If you can get on top of where all the threats are of the metagame, you could very easily carve a path to victory. So he could be one to watch out for, I think.
Definitely. I mean, since 2013, I don't think he has he? I'm not sure. Has he top cut? I mean, he must have done quite well last year, didn't he? I can't remember. How well did he do last year? Do we know?
I know he top cut in Italy for Nationals last year, but I think that was it.
Okay, oh yeah, I remember the whole business. I don't think his Kangaskhan had full happiness or something in Germany. There was some problem.
Yeah.
But okay, so, Arash, obviously ex-world champion, he is obviously going to be one that we're going to, look out for. Let's move on, though. Let's go to Eloy, Dratini 5, or Dragoran 5, which I think is Dragonite in German. Is it, Lajo?
Yeah, right.
Okay, so tell us about Eloy.
Yeah, well, Eloy, did pretty well in some premier challenges. I don't know his record though, but he's definitely pretty good. And I think he finished in the top 4 of the Arnhem regionals.
Yes, he was in the top 4.
Yeah, and eliminated by you.
Yeah, that's how I knew. I think that Eloy is a very underrated player because he's not one of those players that posts a lot on Nugget Bridge, or he keeps quite a low profile. He doesn't go on Showdown very much, at least under his own name. And even before he was in the Masters division, he was competing at Worlds in the senior division. He is a very good player. I think he's a very underrated player. I think he's a fantastic player, actually.
Yeah, well, he's pretty consistent, and he likes to use and improve just one team over the whole season. So we can expect something similar to the team he used in Arnhem Regionals in Stuttgart as well, I think.
Okay, yeah, I understand that mindset. Alright then, so where are we going next? Who's next on our list? I think let's have a look at the Genie Brothers, because we've got, actually the next on the list, 9th and 10th in Europe, we've got Alberto Genie, also known as Brain Dead Primate, and we've got Mate Genie, Matty in 10th. Both, there's just 4 championship points between them. But do you want to tell us about the Genie Brothers then, Nigel?
Yeah, so I'll start with Albi first. So he was a semi-finalist at the Rome Regionals back in April. He made 2 World Championships in 2013 and 2014. So he's definitely a capable battler. Again, with his brother, he came 17th in Rome Regionals, so he was just outside the top 16 on resistance. But a lot of people will remember Matty as a championship runner-up to Ray Rizzo in 2011, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was 2011.
Yeah, it was 11.
But definitely, the Genie Brothers are probably, without doubt, the best sibling pair in Europe as we look at it.
Well, definitely, but we always think, or us as masters anyway, we think of the Genie Brothers, Albi and Matty, but actually there's three Genie Brothers now, isn't there? We've got
Nicola.
Yeah, we've got young Genie, who has just come up to the Masters division, who actually was really successful in the seniors division as well. I think he won 2 national championships. Last year or the year before? He did really well.
I think it was last year.
Yeah.
But obviously Nicola is also actually, I think he's actually within the invite places at the moment, somewhere in 40th, give or take. So they're all doing very well for themselves at the moment.
Yes. Yes, I mean, like you said, that Matty is, when we think of the Genie Brothers, I think most people probably do tend to, lean towards thinking of Matty first, just because he did go to, the final of the World Championships, a few years ago. So he obviously is considered one of the best Italian players. He had a terrible season last year, as did I. So I wasn't alone having a terrible season. Neither was he, which is amusing because we were both paired in the first round of the Italian national last year. But hopefully, myself, hopefully he will do better than this year as well. That actually reflects how good of a player he is, because he is obviously very good.
Yeah, if you can rebound strongly, you've got the capability of going all the way. Basically, that's the main thing.
Yeah. Okay then. So who are we going to? Who are we going to go? Oh, let's just have a look. Here's Albi's profile, Brain Dead Primate, and Matty's profile here. Next on our little list then is Lega. So Lajo, tell us about Lega.
Yeah, Lega, Matthias Suchodolski. I think he was the only player that was undefeated in the Arnhem Regionals, going 7-0. And unfortunately, he missed out his showing in the top cut.
Yeah, the next day.
Yeah, so that's pretty unfortunate. But he also did really well in some Premier challenges. And the very first Premier challenge for the first season, our Arena Cup in Bremen, which was VGC 14 plus actually. I faced him in the sixth round, and he also made top cut, I believe. So he's definitely in a good spot and has a successful season this year.
Yeah, he's always been a pretty consistent player, hasn't he? I mean, we're looking at his profile now, and he's got a list of his last placings. So he top cut Milan, 21st in Bochum, top 8 in Birmingham in 2013. He top cut Bochum last year as well, top 4 it says on here. Yeah, it would have been interesting because he was in the Arnhem Regional. He was the undefeated person in the Swiss rounds. But he had some car troubles or something the next day and actually didn't make it to the arena. So Eloy, who was going to be his opponent, was basically parachuted straight into top 4. Now, it would have been interesting actually if Lega and Eloy had played in Swiss rounds. Lega won, but you know, if the same thing would have happened in the top cut, I would have been playing Lega in top 4, and I don't know what my matchup was like. I don't even know what he was using. So, you know, if his car was still working, you know, the tournament could have been completely differently. I might not have, you know, even won that tournament if he had a good matchup against me or something. So,
yeah,
you know, it just goes to show, doesn't it? All right, we've got another German next on the list there. We've got Chris, we've got Drug Duck, who is a nice chap. Respect Italy, it says on his profile. So, what are you going to tell us about Chris then?
Yeah, well, Chris, I don't think he had many tournaments this season, but he went to the regionals in oh no, not the regionals, the Arena Cup in Salzburg, with over 70 players in attendance, I guess, and finished second there.
So the Arena Cups are just Premier Challenges, but with a lot of people at them?
Yeah, and some more merchandise, yeah.
Okay.
But most players there are pretty good as well.
I think it's quite interesting, Drug Dog, because he made like a post on Facebook last year, I think, saying that he was retiring from the game and, you know, didn't really want to play anymore, and here he is now. He's actually 13th in Europe. So
yeah, well, I think he said he will quit every year, but I doubt that will happen in the future. Anyway, he played Billa actually in finals in Salzburg, and Billa won. So he might want to take his revenge, and yeah, let's see if he gets it in Stuttgart.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's a capable player. He's played at Worlds twice. He played in 2013, and was it when was the other time he played? Was it 2009 or was it 2010? Do you know?
I don't know.
I'm sure he did play at Worlds. He didn't do too well, but he has been at Worlds, you know, another time aside from 13.
I think it was 2009.
But as well, like we were talking about, you know, Matty and myself having really bad seasons last year and doing, you know, pretty good this season. Drug Dog Chris is another one who he didn't make Worlds last year, and he's doing quite well this year, because I think this year's format, 2015, is obviously is closer to 2013, and that is the format that obviously people like me and Matty really flourished in, and I guess it's the same for Drug Duck here, because he is doing quite well this season. Alright then, so yeah. Who are we going to next? Who's next? Well, actually, next on our list is 14th, one position, 2 championships points behind. We've got Lee, also known as Osiris online. So tell us about Lee, Nigel.
Yep, so basically, Lee's obviously 14th in the rankings, 213 CP if I check correctly. probably best known for top cutting worlds last year as the only UK player to do so. But this season he's done
Zog top cut worlds.
Zog top cut worlds, yeah, that's true. I should say last year, okay. But he's also done pretty well this season, top 16 in the UK regionals. So I reckon Osiris is going to be a name to watch out for, and I'm sure he'll want to repeat his world conquest again and hopefully go all the way this year.
Yeah, Lee is, like, out of all of the people that we are going to mention in this video, Lee is one of the ones that has been playing for the longest. He has been playing this game for a really long time, and he's always been a solid player. I mean, as long as I've known him, he's always been a really solid player. I just hope that I don't get paired with him in the tournament, because whenever I play him, like, if it's an important game, I just lose. And I don't know what it is. He just has this thing over me in these official tournaments. So I hope I don't get paired with Lee.
We all have bogey players, though, don't we? We all have people that we just never like to face in a tournament. We've all got one at least, but I suspect Lee will be... He should make the top cut. If he doesn't, I would be genuinely surprised.
Do you think?
He's either going to go 7-2 or 6-3. I would like to think that he's going to go 7-2, but you never know on the day. It depends how you feel or what the team matchups are. If he gets a good run, he could go all the way. So,
well, yeah, you never know, do you? I'm not sure he has had too much success in nationals before. I know he's top cut quite a few of them. I think his best placing was in the UK national in 2013. I think, and I think he got top 4 in that tournament. I think he lost to who did he lose to actually? I don't know.
Could be Kiraku, because Kiraku...
He lost to... It was one of the Spanish players. It was either Flash or Deku, I think. But either way, I'm not sure. But, yeah, I mean, obviously he's a really solid player. And he could potentially do well. Next, though, let's move on. Next, we're going back to Germany. So another German player in our list here. Obviously, there's quite a few Germans here because it's German nationals coming up. The next one, we're going to have a look at Florian, the Flow. So, Lajo, enlighten us on the world of the Flow.
Yeah, the Flow is a pretty solid player, probably one of the best from Germany, and I think he won 3 Premier Challenges this season. He didn't attend many tournaments, but the tournaments he attended, he did pretty well. I think he also attended both regionals, but Arnhem wasn't.
I don't think he went to the Italian regional after all.
He was planning to, but he never actually did. He was on the fence on going.
Yeah, well, and in Arnhem, well, things happened, and he got round 1 loss, pretty unfortunately, because yeah, the stuff was just stupid, and he was away while the pairings were announced, and he got a loss for some unknown reasons, and yeah.
He was given the first round loss in Arnhem. I don't know exactly what happened, so I can't really comment on that. I don't know if it was the fault of the organisers or if it was, a miscommunication, and he didn't realise he was supposed to be where he was. So who knows really? But obviously he's a good player. He won the Italian national last year, so obviously he's a good player. And the important thing is, like, he's won that big tournament now. If you win a national, then I've not won one myself, but I presume it would give you so much confidence going into the nationals, because you can just repeat the success in your head and just think, right, I can win this tournament as you enter it. So I'm sure he's going to be happy going into his own German nationals next weekend.
Yeah.
All right then. So next, another German and another national champion. Actually, last year's German national champion, this one. So, do you want to tell us about Marcus?
Yeah, Marcus, Yoshi, is probably, my most favorite pick this year for winning a national. He did really well in all the tournaments he attended. He didn't attend any regionals and still got over 150 championship points.
Yeah, he's got
which is
176.
Yeah, and we played in the finals of the Bremen Arena Cup, and he defeated me there. So, yeah, I have something going for him. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
And-
Marcus he is, like, when you think of good German players, he is right up there. Like, he is definitely one
Yeah.
of the best German players. And, you know, what better to solidify that reputation than winning the German national last year?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
he did it undefeated, didn't he? He also went undefeated throughout the whole tournament.
He
if I
did.
recall
Yeah, he
correctly.
went
He did.
16-0.
He
Yeah.
played my, you know, you'll know him as well, my good friend Jake, in the top 16 of that tournament, and I'm sure he'll remember that Draco Meteor miss on the Kangaskhan. Jake thinks that the Draco Meteor would have knocked the Kangaskhan out, and that would have meant Jake would have won that game. So Marcus says that it was a really bulky Kangaskhan and it would have survived. Who knows what the spreads were? Who knows what the odds were? But he did go undefeated in that tournament. You know,
Well,
good to
now
him.
we know his spread now, so it would be a good time to ask, I think.
Yeah, I could go and calculate it after this, actually. Yeah, quite interesting.
I think we can't, and Marcus is right, he would have survived, yeah.
Ah, okay, fair enough. So, yeah, I mean, that was actually the first tournament where Kangaskhan and Gengar got a lot of use, wasn't it? I think that was the big pair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was where all that sort of came about. Yeah, and obviously, like, because it was German Nationals was the first national last year as well, wasn't it? Yeah, it was, because I was using
It was.
Jumpluff and everything. Don't laugh. The winning team of the first national, I think, has big influence on the rest of the season, especially the last two nationals, because after the tournament last year, after the German national last year, we saw so many more Gengars and Kangaskhan's. Obviously, Kangaskhan was so big anyway, but you know, people trying to replicate Marcus's team. So whoever and whatever wins this weekend, it's going to have a massive influence on the rest of this season, I think.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right then, so next on our list, another German player. This German player happens to be talking to us right now. So,
Yeah. Hello, guys.
So do you want to you know, say how your season's gone so far?
I think I have a pretty good season so far. I played a lot of small tournaments in the Nugget Bridge circuit and finished in the top 16 of the Nugget Bridge Major. I played 2 Arena Cups, Bremen and Berlin, and got second in both. And I only attended like 6 or 7 Premier Challenges. I won 3 of them, but 1 win wasn't given to me, so I'm sitting at 166 points right now instead of 186.
Oh,
Yeah.
was it not sanctioned or something?
Actually, it was the wrong software used. Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay, I think
Well,
actually
things
out
happen.
of all these players, I think you are the only one that's actually older than me as well. By like under a month. We're like under a month. I'm just at the beginning of 88. Yeah, right, 87. Okay, so yeah, I mean, Lajo, like, you're in the call, but I'll talk about you like you're not here. I think Lajo, he is. I think he is one of the top German players. Obviously, he is. You know, my closest German friend. I think he's a fantastic player. Whenever I watch him play, it always surprises me when he loses because he's got such a consistent play style. He does remind me of kind of like how Ray Rizzo plays. He uses these slow, bulky, consistent, you know, teams that grind out victories. That's his style. So it always surprises me when I see you lose. You got, what, top 8 was it last year in the German national?
Yeah, top 8.
Yeah,
I lost
and
to
I remember
Lega
watching you
there.
on screen. You was using the Gudra and Rotom Heat and everything.
Yeah, exactly. And the Trevenant.
Yeah, and I think you lost because, I don't know, did Muddy Water miss a few times or something? I can't remember.
I think I lost because I missed a rock slide with my Mawile against Lega's Rotom Heat.
Oh yes, that was it.
Mm, yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, oh well, it happens, doesn't it? But okay, so we've got one more that we're gonna like look at in a proper detail in this list. There we go, the profile's loaded, and it's Ben. It's Kiraku, my another good friend, who actually hasn't had a very good season at all. Do you want to tell us a bit about Ben, Nigel?
Yeah, so when we say he's not had a good season, we're talking 130th in the rankings here. So I think he's been to quite a few Premier Challenges, but he's only scored in two, possibly about three or four. But only very recently, he only got his first points at Crawley in March. So that just shows how he's got 92 points since March, basically. He's attended all three regionals, but I can't think of any notable results on any of them. I think he must have got points in one.
He got points in Italy, a few. I think he was just outside of the top 16, I think.
Yeah, part of Team Fruitcake, as I called it. But he's a previous double UK Nationals champion. He's also been to Worlds multiple times. You can't really discount him, I suppose. It's just he's had a rough season. If he finds something that works, he could quite easily go on a good hot streak, I suppose.
Yeah, and this is why we're mentioning him as well, because he has been the UK national champion twice, so he has got the experience of winning nationals. He has been at Worlds 3 times in 2012 and 13 and 14. He is one of the most experienced UK players now. He is obviously a very good player, and I know he has been testing some new stuff as well and adapting teams and whatnot. I think the impression I got from him is he's feeling okay going into this national. I think he might have something that is pretty solid and might work for him now. So you can never count Ben out. He's had a terrible season, like only 92 points for going to however many Premier Challenges and all 3 regionals as well. I'm sure he won't mind us saying it is terrible, but everything that has happened so far in this season might not mean too much after the Nationals, because the Nationals offer so many more championship points than the tournaments we've been to already. So, like a win at a National gives you 600 points. A win for Ben would put him up to 692. He'd be in there, wouldn't he? So
he'd certainly be definitely looking at an invite slot if he won a national. So you can't discount anyone really on the list. But if Ben won, he'd be flying high. So
definitely. So we've got a few more honourable mentions. There is actually a lot of people from the UK flying over to the German national. So there's Corio, who we haven't mentioned properly, but obviously he's a very good player. Got second in the Italian national last year and top 4 in the Arnhem regional. So there's him. There's the Miller brothers, who I think are very good players as well. There's no reason why the Miller brothers can't both top cut. They're both very good. A few other sort of newcomers, I suppose, to the circuit. Jan Sim, the Brazilian chap who's living in Scotland, and William Tansley, actually, who's been going to pretty much every event, who are both up there in the championship points as well. The only reason really why, it's obviously no disrespect to anyone who we haven't mentioned or might not mention in this video. Obviously everyone has got a shot at this tournament, but these players like Jan Sim here, who's sitting at 4th in Europe, he is sitting there after going to all 3 of the regionals, and he has been to a lot of Premier Challenges as well, so we don't know exactly how telling this point is for him. And we didn't really see anything from him last year, so this is the first season, so we can't really predict him or predict anything too much yet. And we've got William Tansley down here somewhere as well. Here he is at 19th in Europe, sitting at 200 championship points. I think he's been to pretty much everything as well, so again, don't know how telling that is. A few more names. Lajo, do you want to give us some German names? Obviously it's the German national, so there's a lot of very good German players that we haven't mentioned yet, so do you want to give us some names?
Yeah, I will cut it down to the probably best three in my list, though. The first one I want to mention is Michael Richard. He didn't play at all last season, but in 2013 he top cutted all three nationals, and I think since you mentioned earlier VGC 15 is pretty close to 13.
Yeah.
He has a really good shot at finishing in the top cut in the nationals
so he's sitting
this
in
year.
the same boat as me and Matty and Drugduck then.
Yeah. And okay, the next on my list is Timo Kopacz. Um, 37 Timo K1. He went undefeated last year in the German nationals, going 8-0 in his flight, but unfortunately he didn't make it past top 16, I guess, or even top 32. But he top cutted in Italy again, and almost netting him a paid trip to the Worlds last year, which is, I think, pretty impressive. Yeah, and the last one I want to mention is Matthias Grauer, also known as Fatum or now Drakop on Twitter.
He changes, or Ivetal as well. He went by that name for a while.
Yeah, and he sits on 150 CP so far, which is still in the at least qualify rankings right
he
now.
He has played at Worlds as well in the past, many years ago.
And he did not attend any regionals yet, but he also top cutted the Nugget Bridge Major and quite a lot of the actual circuit lives. So I think he's definitely one to watch out for.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Zymanino as well, Simon from Poland, who will be going to the German Nationals. He played at Worlds last year, didn't he? Yeah?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. So, you know, I mean, there are lots of very good players. Is there anyone else on your mind, Nigel, that we haven't hit yet?
I think you've covered pretty much all the ones that I wanted to mention in the UK. So,
like, honestly, it's pretty hard to rank the nationals, the German national, the Italian national, and the UK national in order of difficulty. But honestly, I will say that I think out of the three countries, Germany, UK, and Italy, the German people are, on average, the better players. So in that regard, maybe I think the German national might be slightly harder. So if anything, this is potentially going to be the hardest national. I think there are so many very good German players, and obviously there's going to be a lot of them in Germany.
I think you've also got to imagine that the German nationals are going to be quite important, because people will be looking for a good result very early on to put them at ease for later on in the season in the other two. So there's going to be a lot of keen players who will just want to get as good a result as possible.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, you never know when we're going to see the next, you know, levitating Heatran. You know, I mean, the next big sort of fad that you know, is going to sweep through us. I mean, it's always exciting to see what wins these tournaments. Like I don't really like it when something really boring wins. I like it when something interesting wins, something that, you know, gives the team options and it's different, something that people don't expect. So I'm hoping to see something interesting. Like, we don't see too much of that, but in the German nationals last year, we had Raichu and Vivillon, didn't we, in the top cut?
Yeah, right. I forgot to mention Porangan, top 4 last year's German national. He only attended Germany, and I don't know which nationals he attend this year, but of course he is one of the names I have to mention here as well. I don't think he has any CPs yet, mainly because he didn't attend any regionals and only one Premier Challenge. But, well, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, everyone on this list has been either British, German, Italian, and then there's Kelly as well, Canadian. We haven't mentioned any Spanish players, just because basically we don't know what's happening. We don't know. There's Deku, Obel Deku, who I think he went to all 3 nationals last year. Sekium, I think, did all 3 last year as well. Sekium obviously top cut worlds last year, so you know, coming off a really strong, actually, you know, result of last year. We don't know what Flash is doing. Flash, who he got what, top 4 at Worlds in 2012 or something, was it? You know,
Yeah.
He should be in Germany. He should be in Germany.
Oh, well, that'd be interesting because he's had a couple of rough years actually, Flash. So it'll be interesting to see how well he does if he does go to this as well. Obviously, you know, we always enjoy seeing all these people from different countries, but we just don't really have too much information on the Spanish players just yet. On you know, who's doing what and who's going where. But I mean, we've covered loads of names actually. I've just got the page up here for the event on the you know, Amigo website, and so I'm just going to cover a couple of interesting points here. Blah blah blah. One very interesting thing, well, not interesting, but important thing. If you are going to the tournament, if you're watching this or listening to this, and going to the tournament, you need to bring a team list, a team sheet, as it says here on the website. So, you know, I'm sure you can find this website. I'm sure you'll find it, and you know, it's the same team sheet that you've been using probably for all of your Premier Challenges. It's just the same one. It says we need a team sheet. You never know how the registration is going to be at Nationals. It might be chaotic. You know, maybe it'll be organised. You know, we can always hope, can't we? But maybe they'll run out of team sheets. Who knows? It's always better to be safe. Print your own out. Complete it. Keep it hidden so no one can see. But take it to the event. Make sure you've got that. But another thing, actually, that we can maybe talk about a little bit here is it says actually on this website that for the video game here, we will have over 227 players, so we should have 9 rounds of Swiss, and it says here that all X and 2 will top cut. So it doesn't matter if you lose your first round game, doesn't matter about resistance, as long as you go X2 at worst, you will top cut. So did you know about that, you two?
Yes, it was something that was announced quite back in April. I think a lot of players are happy with the change because it puts less emphasis on potentially being bubbled out by resistance, and it puts more emphasis on actually winning games.
Yeah, it does. Like, I've got a terrible record with my first game in Nationals. I lost my first game in the German Nationals last year. I lost my first game in the Italian Nationals last year. I lost my first game in the German and Italian Nationals in 2013 as well. Although I top cut both of them. And so to be able to lose your first game and not worry about resistance, it's great. I think it's really good. I'm especially happy because I have not lost a top cut set this whole format. Like, whenever I've top cut in a tournament, I've gone on to win the tournament. So if I top cut, I'm going to be feeling quite happy in this tournament. But you know, if I top cut, I'm going to be happy either way. So all X2s, I think that's quite interesting. I didn't know that had been announced, but I'm obviously out of the loop. But yeah, good to know. Really good to know that all X2s are going to top cut. Okay. As well, the national will be streamed. Yeah, it says here live coverage. It's going to be streamed, and again, there's the link here. I'm sure you can find this website. If not, then you know, maybe I'll put it in the description of this video as well. But I'm sure you'll be able to find it. I'm sure everyone will be posting it if they're not at the tournament, because hopefully you should get some really interesting games going on. Both the VGC and TCG are going to be streamed, but there's the schedule on here as well, so you can have a look at that. And I'm presuming this schedule will be in the German times. So when it says there we go. When it says 11:45, that is actually 10:45 in the UK, and that is what, 5:45 on the East Coast in America. So, you know, just so you can get your times ready. So maybe you can watch the VGC final if you're over in America in the morning on Sunday. You never know. But I think we've, you know, exhausted this preview as much as we can do. We've talked about quite a few players. We've talked about the whole top cutting business and everything. So, well, that's it, you know. Anything to add, you two?
Read the preview article that I've written.
Yeah, this video should be embedded in the Nugget Bridge preview article as well. So if you're you know, listening to it on Nugget Bridge, then hello viewer of Nugget Bridge articles. Yeah, Nigel Wyrms does put, you know, effort into doing these preview articles. So obviously he, you know, appreciates you reading them and maybe commenting on them as well. So there is that. Hope you enjoy that too. Lajo, you looking forward to the tournament?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm hyped.
Yeah, so am I actually. I'm really looking forward to it. Like, and this is the other aspect as well. I'm really looking forward to the trip. I'm looking forward to going to Germany. I'm looking forward to traveling with Zog. That'll be interesting.
Well, that will be fun.
Good old Zog. Yeah, it will be fun. Zog's fantastic. Zog, obviously, I mean, he's another candidate. He's, you know, another honourable mention, I suppose. Zog's a really good player. Like, I don't know how he does it. He just sort of enters these tournaments, throws some things together, and actually has a solid result. He has top cut, you know, nationals every year for a few years now, I think. I don't think he did in 12, but definitely 13 and 14. He top cut UK. So, and now he's, you know, travelling this year as well. This is, as far as I know, unless he went to Italy or Spain in 2012. This is the first time he has travelled to a different country for nationals as well. Because I went to Paris and UK in 2012, and I don't think he went to Paris with us. If he did, I don't remember. But yeah, anyway, so fantastic. Yeah, I can't wait for this weekend. It's going to be really good. In Stuttgart as well, so a different town, a different venue. It was in Bochum, but Stuttgart now. So if you are listening to this, if you're going to the tournament, then we'll see you there. We'll see you there. So would you like to say goodbye, you two?
Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye, guys.
Yeah. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss. We'll see you there. Okay. Bye-bye, Internet.